The following is the Tony Lasano podcast, an Opie show on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. This is Free Kicks. So we went out last night. As
yes.
An unusual event. We don't go out that often. We went out with a couple of our old soccer pals.
Yep.
And, of course, the subject is always soccer. One of the things we talk about all the time is soccer because we love it. And one of the subjects that came up last night is going to be addressed in today's show. Yes, that's all I'll say. But will be addressed later on in the show. But right now, it is time for Free Kicks.
And now, Free Kicks. Free Kicks with Illinois Youth Soccer Association's Director of Coaching, Adam Howarth, and Rick Kemper.
So this is our holiday show. We won't be doing a show for the next couple of weeks, and there's so much stuff going on as we head into the Festive Fixtures, which is what the batch of many games is called.
Yep.
Let's talk about where we are on the table, or at where people are in the rankings right now.
Yep.
As we finished 17 games so far this year?
Correct.
3 teams, as far as I can tell, are title contenders. It's Arsenal, Manchester City, and Aston Villa. We'll get to the teams that are vying for that 4th spot. But those 3 teams, they're 7 points ahead of the 4th place team. So at this point, that's a pretty healthy lead.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So let's break them down. When you look at those 3 teams, it could go any way if you ask me. Manchester City is leading the league in goals scored and in goal differential, as they seem like they always do. Arsenal is leading defensively. They've only allowed 10 goals all season, which is pretty impressive. Because, that's less than 1 a game. Aston Villa is riding the longest winning streak. So with those little details thrown out there, give me your professional assessment as the start of the show.
My professional assessment, yeah. I think with Arsenal and Man City, obviously they've been there and been there and thereabouts. Obviously, the last couple of years, and so I think those 2 are probably a little bit ahead of the curve. Aston Villa, this is a little bit of uncharted territory for them, but from where they were at, I mean, they started off awfully, and then now they've just kind of come back and put themselves in a position where they're keeping up. Really, the festive fixtures will probably really assess Villa's chances, I would say.
Right, because isn't it safe to say their roster is not quite as deep as the other 2 teams?
Yeah, I agree with that. I would say that Arsenal has the deepest squad. I mean, when you play Chelsea and you don't play with your 2 starting centre backs,
I know,
and still hold them, albeit they probably didn't play as well. That gives you a little bit of an idea of how strong they are. And then Manchester City, they have a player called Erling Haaland who he just scores every single game. I mean, that's what he does, and you would think that teams would be catching up in terms of how to try to stop them. Put 2 players on him, for goodness sake. Do whatever you need to do, because he's the one that makes the big changes. But then now you're starting to see other players step up, like Phil Foden and Shirky and all these other players. So I think those 2 are there. I think Villa are there. They're happy to be there. Again, if they get through the festive period and they are winning the games that they need to win against some of the top teams, then I'm going to say they're legit.
Well, I'll tell you one person who is legit for sure. That's Morgan Rogers.
No question.
I watched that game this past weekend as we're taping this here on the 23rd of December, and holy mackerel, those goals that he scored were amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely that type of player that can win a game for you, and that's been the difference in the last few weeks for Villa. He's just taken games by the scruff of the neck and created a chance or scored a goal himself. And if I'm Thomas Tuchel, I'm thinking, ooh, I have to play this guy.
Yeah.
It's on current form alone, he's probably getting in. Yeah, he's been absolutely tremendous.
I was listening to Lee Dixon during that game, and you could just tell that he, as a fellow Englishman, was salivating at the chance of getting him on that national team.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
All right, so those are your that's where we stand here heading into the festive fixtures. We'll go over some of the games that are coming up in a bit.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the other teams that are still kind of in the hunt here for that last European position, because there's quite a few of them. By my estimation here, we got at least 5 teams that are in the hunt. Right now, Chelsea sits at that 4th slot.
Yeah.
With goal differential over Liverpool.
Yep.
And then there's Sunderland, Manchester United, and Crystal Palace. Where are we looking at here? I mean, now we should mention Isak has a broken leg.
That's tough one.
Happened to Liverpool. And Mo Salah is at the African Cup of Nations, so he's not around. And then for Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes had a pretty serious soft tissue leg injury,
right?
Which is never a good sign. He had to be taken out at halftime. Could barely walk.
Yeah. So these teams are struggling a little bit with injuries. I think both Chelsea and Liverpool can probably deal with a few injuries a little bit better than maybe the Manchester Uniteds and the Sunderlands. They've just got a little bit more depth in terms of their players. And certainly Liverpool still has Ekitike, who's scoring goals consistently. So I don't think that's going to hold them back too much. And Isak was still trying to get used to, Liverpool, and it's just a shame for him that broke in. He scored, and ironically, he broke his leg scoring a goal.
I know.
So that was
that
was the tough part about it.
Who is coming around for Liverpool is Florian Wirtz.
Yes. I was just going to say that. Yeah, it's a good point. He's starting to play a lot better. I think we talked a little bit about it before. I was talking with somebody else about he's starting to understand the physicality of the game in the Premier League.
Right.
It's not quite like that in the Bundesliga. So I think he's been working out a little bit more, put on a little bit of weight to hopefully hold off those players that are pushing him around a little bit. And it takes time to get accustomed to a brand new way of playing and a different style. And even Arne Slot is being very, very politically correct in saying they're still ahead of schedule because they brought all of these players in.
Yeah.
And trying to accommodate with everybody was never going to be easy. I think it was just misleading. I think he even said this. It was a bit misleading. They won their first 5 games, and now reality set in. So he probably set the sail beforehand to tell the owners, hey, don't expect what we did last year with all these new players. But they're still there. They're still close. So they got a chance to come back in. And then, Sunderland, I think they're just trying to gain points like we talked about last week. I mean, they're going to probably struggle a little bit with all those players at the African Cup of Nations. And then Manchester United, they're consistently inconsistent. You just don't know what to expect from them. I don't know what formation they're playing. They're not sure what they're doing at times. But they've been able to get a few more results this year.
What about Crystal Palace? That's such an interesting team. I mean, that I've watched them where I thought, well, these guys are for real.
Yeah.
And then this past week they lost 4-1 to Leeds.
Right. Exactly right. I picked up a couple of players, and I was just wondering what's going on here. These guys look great, and then all of a sudden, Leeds of all teams who've been struggling, in the bottom half, really, the bottom 6 or 7, and Leeds just dominated the game.
Yeah, they did.
And I guess this is why we watch it, right? Anybody can beat anybody, and that's the great thing about this league. But yeah, I was a little bit surprised they dropped a little bit. They've still got 26 points, and they're still doing okay. But again, the consistency has been a bit of a challenge for them.
Yeah, well, looking at those teams that we're talking about here, my money's still with Chelsea finishing in fourth, but we'll see. We'll see how that turns out.
Yeah.
Okay. Please hold. Your call is important to me. Let's see. The problem is we have to hook this up through the phone, and therefore, when a phone call comes in, it comes through.
Hey, that's all right. That's the beauty of it. It's the beauty of it. That's why we do these things.
It was from that phone call, by the way, was from my good friend, Potential Spam.
Oh yeah, I know him. I get a lot of calls from him.
Yeah, he really calls me a lot. He really does. All right, so let's do our stat of the week. We're gonna do a preview of the festive fixtures in depth coming up in a bit. The stat of the week is leads to our discussion from last night. We were having a discussion with our buddies, one of which is a Hungarian. And he was kind of taunting you about England and how the Premier League may be the greatest league.
Yeah.
But how many players are actually English? That's what he's saying. Well, I have done some investigative work on this.
Ooh.
And I have a list here of the number of local players. Now, we've been there and we've seen how they divide up the local English players. So this is a list of players that are brought up in the same city, county, or within a 45-minute drive of the club that they're on. Because that's kind of how they do it in England, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. They'll play there locally. Yeah, that's true.
You have like rights based on geography, more or less, on players.
Yeah, to a certain point, to a certain age, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, it actually is quite an accomplishment if you have a lot of players that fit in that category. And there are 2 teams in the Premier League that have 7 on their current rosters, which I think is a pretty good number because there are 4 teams that have 0.
Mm-hmm.
So see if you can guess who those 2 teams are.
The 2 teams with 7 total players, and does that mean they're in the squad, or does that mean they're consistently starting?
It means they're in the squad, but I mean they're playing. They're
playing a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I think looking at the group, and we were just talking about it. Maybe Aston Villa, possibly.
Aston Villa is one of the teams that has 0.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Both of the teams that have 7 are London teams.
Okay. Well, possibly.
And actually, wow, now that I look at it, a team with 6 is also a London team. A team with 5 is also a London team. And a team with 4 is also a London team. So the 2, 4, 5 top teams that have local players are all from London.
Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. I was thinking Aston Villa might be just because of they certainly have a lot of English players, but maybe not necessarily from that area.
Correct.
Yeah. So I would say probably then in that South London area, probably Crystal Palace might be up there.
Yep, they're number 1. They have 7.
There you go. And then for the second one, it's a tough one. I would probably go ahead and guess West Ham, but I don't think. I'm going to go with Tottenham.
No, it's West Ham.
West Ham. Oh.
Yeah, Tottenham is the only London team that does not. They've only got 2. Really? They've only got 2 players. I'll go over it with you here. So Crystal Palace has 7. West Ham has 7. Arsenal has 6.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Chelsea has 5.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Brentford has 4. So those are your teams. And you look down here, Liverpool's only got one. Nottingham Forest has only got one. Bournemouth only has one. Manchester United and Tottenham both only have two. Same with Everton. So you can kind of see where the good players come from.
Yeah, well, of course.
Well, Manchester City's got three, and Newcastle has three, and Sunderland has three. So I mean, they all have some.
Yeah. And if people ever follow and look at, there's some really good YouTube video documentaries on academies in England and different groups and different things. Obviously, Chelsea's had a great academy. They've obviously got a lot of players. Reece James, great free kick on the weekend.
Yeah,
all these types of players. All these types of players have gone through, but there's an interesting one on Crystal Palace as well. But that South London area is predominantly very strong in terms of players. You know, it's a working class area, players really trying to better themselves through the game of football. And that's definitely a hotbed in terms of some of the players that have come through. And then you lean
is on the
towards
list
West Ham.
too, so that's another one. They're also a London team.
Absolutely more a West London area. But you'll find, like you said, because of the proximity and the amount of teams in and around London, that they're obviously producing the players. Everybody wants to be in London, right? So that's the thing.
Yep. Mm-hmm. All right, Free Kicks is brought to you by the Illinois Youth Soccer Association.
Illinois Youth Soccer has been proudly serving the Illinois soccer community since 1975. Illinois Youth Soccer is a non-profit corporation, official state association, and charter member of the U.S. Soccer Federation, administers U.S. Soccer Federation coaching programs, the U.S. Soccer Federation Olympic Development Program, and U.S. Soccer Federation referee programs. For more information, go to illinoisyouthsoccer.org. And there's just a quick shout out to all our teams. I know we're going to be gone next week, but I'll be heading out to beautiful Arizona with our ODP teams. So I want to wish all those teams the best of luck. We've got I think a dozen teams heading out there to play the Far West Championships. And we will see if how well we do against the Hawaiis and the Southern Californias of the world. So it'll be a really good test for some of our ODP teams.
What age groups are going?
So it's a little bit of a mix. We have some of our younger players. So I actually have a 2015 group, boys and girls. And then our oldest group, I believe, is a 2010 group. So a little bit of a mix, dependent on availability, dependent on players and everything else. So sometimes we had to combine a couple of groups together, which was fine because these are all state players that are going to be representing. So all these players are some of our top level players. So we'll definitely get tested. So it'll be good.
Time now to guess the Premier League star.
All right, let's see how you can do.
Okay.
This one is definitely a star. All right.
Okay, good.
He's 26 years old, and he's a striker. All right, so you know all the strikers. He is playing for his second Premier League team. And he has previously played professionally in many countries. He played in Portugal. He played in Germany. He played in Spain. And he also played in his home country, which is not England.
So he's an international player. Okay.
He is an international player, yes. He's number 9.
Does he wear number 9?
He does. He wears number 9. Now, he's with a new team, and his previous team is struggling to score without him. It's a big loss.
Gotcha.
On the other hand, he's not exactly helping his new team.
Right, okay. Now, did this player just recently get injured?
He might have, yes. He might be the most expensive player in Premier League history.
Okay.
With a grand total of 2 goals.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he won't be scoring any goals again very soon, certainly in the next few weeks, because of his broken leg, potentially.
Yes, that's the guy.
Yeah, so it's
that was an easy one.
Yeah, a little unfortunate for him. Yeah, so Alexander Isak, but he's been around, and people don't realize he's from Sweden. He
Yeah.
plays on the Swedish national team. Yeah, so and that's a loss for them because they're trying to get into the World Cup too. So they're in that group, so he
Oh,
won't be
that's a
able to.
big loss for them. In fact, when it happened, and you were watching the game, one of his national team teammates was on the other team, and came over and was like hovering over him, like, "Oh no," you know what I mean?
So, yeah, absolutely.
Because he is very necessary to that club.
Yeah,
I mean, to that nation.
Now time for Adam's Weekend Soccer TV Tip.
Between now and our next show, there'll be about 40 games.
great. There you go.
So there's so much to discuss. I mean, we're sitting around I've got my little notepad out here. I'm writing down which days I've got to have the television on. What am I going to be watching? Tell me what to do.
Well, basically, if you look at it, so from Boxing Day on, the day after Christmas is Boxing Day. It's always traditionally there's been a lot of games, and you've come over to the house. We've had some bacon sat. We've treated it just like an English day. Unfortunately, we don't have much going on. There's just one game. There's just one game, but there's a bunch of games on the Saturday, the 27th. And unfortunately, I'm out of town. You're out of town. We're all over the place.
Yep.
So. But you're more than welcome to come over on Boxing Day just for the one game. You're more than welcome.
Well, I mean, it's just Manchester United, really. I mean,
just Man United versus Newcastle, which would be a decent game by means. But basically after that, so you got 26th, 27th, 28th. Then the 29th, you can probably go out and return all your gifts that you got, things that don't fit. That's the 29th. And then you got to come back because we got games on the 30th and then the 1st. So you got Tuesday. And then New Year's Eve, obviously you'll be getting ready for your big parties and stuff. And then Thursday, we've got some games. So, yeah, really, from Boxing Day on, you've got games every day except for 2, all the way through to the New Year, which is going to be brilliant. Absolutely.
That's awesome. I mean, I know it's hard on the players, but just as a fan, I enjoy it very much.
Of course. And if people ever look to try to catch games in England, this would be a good time to go, because you can potentially catch a couple of games. Mm-hmm. So that's the really nice thing about it. So it was great. So,
but you haven't given us any specifics. I've got my pen out here.
I know. So in terms of games, I think Saturday you got a full, fairly, pretty good slate of games. The team, I think this will be a really good game, especially because we've been talking a lot about them today. Aston Villa head down to the Bridge, 11:30 on Saturday. They're playing Chelsea. I think that's going to be a really good game, and it could go a long way to determining if Aston Villa are the legit team. And for my next one, I'm going to go with
expect your phone to explode during that game.
I know, absolutely.
It's going to be over on the West Coast. Yeah,
I'll be watching it somewhere, absolutely, and then I've got to go with them again. I mean, it's like a Villa. It's a love of Villa on this show today. They got another game on Tuesday, the 30th of December, again away from home, but they're playing Arsenal. That's going to be a great game too. So if I look at the 2 games to watch that you can't miss over this break, it's got to be Aston Villa. Watch them because they've got Arsenal and Chelsea, some really good games there. So
like you said, we'll find out if they're for real or not after that.
Ultimately, you've got all these games. You've got, I think, anytime you can watch Manchester City. They've got a couple of close ones there. They've got Nottingham Forest coming up on Saturday, and they also play Sunderland. Those are games probably expected to win. But yeah, I think you'll be going a good way to watching if Villa are legit. See how they do in their next 2 games.
This is going to be a fun season. Free Kicks is brought to you by Green White Soccer Club. I just want to say, as the president of Green White, thank you for everyone and all that. We have so many volunteers and wonderful people that work with the club, our coaches and our parents and our kids and, even our old timers. I just wanted to say Merry Christmas and thank you. Happy New Year to everybody who helps out with Green White. And if you want to be part of this wonderful little soccer family, go to greenwhitesoccer.org. All right, Adam. We have people to thank. We got to thank our executive producer, Tony Lasano, with Opie Shows. Thank you, Tony. Thank you also to Ed Silla with the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Great Talk Radio isn't dead. It just moved to a better place. RadioMisfits.com. And we're going to be back again, but it'll be next year.
Yes.
We'll be back again next year in 2026 with a brand new episode of Free Kicks.
The proceeding was a presentation of the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Find our other great shows on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and at RadioMisfits.com. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
This has been a presentation of Opie Productions.
Tony, can you shut up?
Oh, for God's sake.
Oh, for goodness sake.